Like, she overdid her hair, and like her eyebrows look filled in. You know what I mean? They are. I know. I had to do it for a photo shoot, but um, you guys, I'm just a mom. You know, I'm a mom of three. I have a 2-year-old, I have a 5-year-old, and I have an 8-year-old. My gosh, I can't believe I have an 8-year-old. But I'm a military wife that honestly, you know, my husband, let me be honest with you guys just for a second. My husband tricked me into becoming a military wife. I actually said at one point in time when I was in the military, like, who does that to themselves?
You're welcome.
I know. My husband's sitting right there. Anyway, so he put a ring on my finger and he's like, I got this great idea. And so we've been in the military for going on 11 years. But in that process,
or 10.
In that process, I started to lose myself in many different ways. And this business is something that gave me something to call my own. I don't know if anybody can relate to that or not, but my story goes back and it goes kind of deep. But when my husband deployed for the first time, I felt at the lowest of my low. I felt alone. I had a 4-year-old and a 10-month-old, and I didn't know if I was going to see him again. I'll never forget hugging him and not wanting to let go because I was afraid I'd forget what he felt like. There was all these fears going through my head. I was in a new town, and on top of that, I didn't have anything to call my own. You know, I graduated from college, like I had all these dreams, I had all these hopes, and then you get to be a wife and your husband's not ever going to be home. And so there was all these things that I was dealing with, and I'm normally a very positive person until that moment. And I remember walking downstairs one day, you know, to make coffee because I lived off coffee because our 10-month-old didn't sleep. He wouldn't know that because he was never home for that, but she didn't sleep. And I remember walking past this sign, this quote I had framed that I've walked past a million times. But for some reason, thank goodness, this time, it actually stopped me in my tracks. And it said, if you want something different, you have to do something different. And it was like, bam! Like, this was my something different. I had been a coach for almost a year, and all those fears had been in my head and holding me back, and I wasn't really doing anything with it. I wasn't sharing my heart. I wasn't helping people. I was feeling sorry for myself and feeling stuck. And I remember thinking, like, I can't do this. There's got to be a plan B. I don't know, you know, thank goodness we have families that do this for our country for 20 plus years, but in my heart, I just wasn't sure that's really what we were meant to do. I needed something, you know, different. I needed a plan B, and it was like, boom, at that second, like, it was like, this is my something different. This is my something that I'm failing to see the potential in, that I'm letting my own fears stop me from building something really cool, something I could be proud of. And it was at that second that I decided, like, to give it actually a chance. What do I have to lose? Oh, okay, some people might judge me. They're judging me anyway, so why not do something that makes a difference and be judged for it? I mean, these were the thoughts that were going through my mind. And so I started fitting this business into the mom cracks, if that makes sense. Because, like I said, I was a stay-at-home mom. I have a 10-month-old 4-year-old, and Chad, my husband, was gone, and I didn't have a lot of help. I didn't live near family. Like, where do you fit this in? And so I started fitting it into the mom cracks of life and just doing what I could with consistency and building. And I remember when someone said to me, I made a trip to try to learn, like, how do you do this? Because I am not a salesperson, and I've never really owned a business. How the heck do you do this? You know, so I made a trip to see some people speak that I really trusted, that I within the company, that their integrity was solid, you know, and I went to hear them speak, and there's two things that trip like totally changed my outlook. Tracy Morrow said, if you share your heart, Summer, if you're real, if you're genuine, if you have your heart in the right place, if your intentions are true, no one can receive you negatively. You can wake up every day proud of what you're building. And I was like, yeah, okay, yes, I'm not going to sacrifice my integrity, my character. I'm going to build something that's true, that focuses on other people. And if I help enough people reach their goals, I'll reach mine. And then Tommy Migrant said something that hit me on a whole different level. He said, Summer, don't you dare hold someone else's future captive in your mouth because of your fears of rejection. Like I was like, whoa, like wow, this is deep. Like you guys, like you know, and so it was. I took those two aha moments, those two light bulbs, and I took it back to North Carolina. That trip was in Ohio. Came back to North Carolina, and I built from that. And in 5 years, I've built a team of well, I don't know what the number is exactly, 7,000 to 8,000 people. We hit 6 figures in 2.5 years, which is crazy to me, you guys. I really just wanted to have something to call my own.
We were happy
Right?
with $100.
I mean, I was happy when I made $100. I was like, oh my gosh, we can go on a date. Oh my God, you know what I mean? Like that, Chad and I struggled. I don't know how many of you guys know what they pay the military, but no one's getting rich or comfortable really in the military. So we were ecstatic, and never in a million years did we think it would reach that, all while doing what Tracy and Tommy told me to do, right? So I just kept building and growing to the point that it became what I say to my team, it's bigger than that. You know, it is there's so much awesome weaved into this sense of accomplishment, something to call your own. You're making a difference. There is something incredible about getting a text from someone that says, thank you for not giving up on me. You changed my life. That right there will change your life. You can't even put a price tag on that. So 5 years later, Chad is about to leave the military to work next to me full time in something that we are incredibly passionate about, that has paid off over $100,000 of debt. You guys are probably like, oh my gosh, did she really just say she had that much debt? Yeah, that's kind of embarrassing, honestly. But we worked really hard to pay it off, and we would have never paid that off with Chad's salary. But we were able to do that and create a comfort for our family where we don't worry, we don't fight about money. We used to. It's the number one stressor in a marriage, but we don't have that stressor anymore. And we get to give back. We get to send people on mission trips. We get to do all these things that bring so much joy, and that's really, as a team, what we're after. I mean, and that I didn't know when I started out. I was like, I just want to be excited for once in my life again. You know what I mean? I need something to get me out of this funk, something to feel alive again. I needed that. And to think that it's grown to this. So Chad and I really feel like we have this calling on our life to show people like the possibilities. I know that probably sounds cheesy, and forgive me if you're like, she's full of shit. But I'm not, I swear. That is what we feel like. Man, people need to dream again. What happened to that? Like, my son, my kids think that some fat man comes down, and if there's kids listening, I'm really sorry, that comes down the chimney every year. Like, we actually get them to believe that, and they're nicer to their siblings. Somewhere between, like, whenever they stop leaving 8 and, 20, we stop thinking, like, no, that's probably not meant for me. Oh, that's great for them, but not meant for, somewhere we start believing. So it's really cool to have a business where you start helping people dream again, live again, the possibilities again. And so this business, in all honesty, is anything you want it to be. It can be as big or as small. It is up to you. That's the beauty of it. It's your business. It's not for me to define. You know, a lot of people start out in this on our team like, you know what, let me just enjoy the discount. Let me work on myself. And as their confidence grows, now they're like, wait a second, people are asking me, how do you do this thing again? So it's a very like